of this policy that you have been getting wrong this entire time. A lot of people have brought up the part that says individuals or organizations using the state facilities shall indemnify and hold harmless the state of Wisconsin, its departments, agents, and employees from and against any and all suits, damages, claims, or other liabilities due to personal injury or death, damage due to or loss of property to the state or others, or for any other injury or damage arising out of or resulting from the use of any state facility. People have brought this up multiple times. You keep stating over and over again that it's only if these individuals had gotten a permit, which in my opinion is bullshit anyways. But you've been saying it over and over again. People are obviously starting to believe you, because my friend Matt back here even thought that that was the rule. But it just so happens that that specific part of this policy is underneath the subtitle, or the title of it, is conditions governing all state facilities. It also then says, the following conditions apply to the general public in public areas of all state facilities, and then that's what it's listed under. It doesn't say anything about having, if you have a permit, this is what you have to deal
You're
with.
still responsible for your own actions. If you cause damage, you're responsible.
I'm not talking about damage. I'm talking about somebody being injured by an officer, somebody who, is, like, I've been arrested multiple times now for doing things that are actually protected by state statutes, by the Wisconsin Constitution, by the U.S. Constitution. I've been injured by officers for expressing my rights. And this is saying that now I can't hold them harmless, or I can't bring up a lawsuit against them. Event and all this other blah blah blah, which honestly, even if you have gotten a permit, you still should be able to, if something happens to you, if you are injured by an employee, you should be able to hold them accountable for it. But you've been saying from the beginning that it's only if you have a permit. So I guess I'm just correcting your multiple statements on that. And that's literally if a young girl, like the other day, someone that I know, an 11-year-old girl, her name's Emma, she was in the Capitol. She decided to throw a paper airplane, like, little kids do. That's what they do. Not a big deal. She threw it, at the Christmas tree. She didn't throw it at somebody. She wasn't hurting anybody. So maybe if anything, an officer could come up and say, we'd appreciate it if you wouldn't throw that. That's, you might hit somebody, or, that's kind of littering. You have to pick it up. But a certain officer decided that it was all right for him to grab her arm so hard that he literally bruised her. He caused contusions in her bicep. She had to go to the doctor. They had to give her x-rays because they were worried that it was broken. So now, if this little girl were to walk in and do that same thing again, once you implement these rules, or, whatever, I guess they already technically are in effect, but after the educational period, if that same thing were to happen, she wouldn't be able to hold that officer accountable under these rules.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And this has nothing to do, before you kept saying you need a permit, it's only if you've gotten a permit, but it's not. If a normal individual were to walk in and do something similar to what that young girl did, she would not be able to hold that officer accountable. That is ridiculous.
I think.
You can talk to all of us.
Yeah, we're here.
Well, just shoot me what I was going to respond to that. I just want to let you know that that particular incident is under review. And
it is now, but this is because it's the educational period, so supposedly these rules aren't fully in effect. But as of December 16th, I think, is the day that they officially go into effect. If after that date a similar situation were to occur, she would not be able to hold that officer accountable.
well, I can clear the air on that quickly. We get any contact, written documentation that we have violated, or someone's alleged that we have used excessive force or been disrespectful, they are under review and investigation by this department. And if we feel we don't have the expertise, or we feel we need a neutral or an individual review of that report, that's what's being done. And that's been in, let me finish, that's been in place for years. It's going to remain in place. It's going to remain in place.
But according to this policy, you could technically completely ignore it, and you would be in the right. According to this policy,
Well, you know, again,
you could ignore it, and you could say no, that wasn't our fault. and you would technically be, according to this section of this policy, you would be doing the right thing. And you could ignore it, and we couldn't do anything about it.
And again,
we would have no right to hold you liable for that.
Who's going to review it? The state patrol?
And that's the thing is, maybe if something like that does arise again, that you would actually look into it, and someone actually would be able to file a lawsuit if you allowed it. But this makes it possible for you to completely ignore it, and it makes it possible for people to not hold you liable.
I can honestly say I don't believe my superiors would allow me to not.
But then why is it written in here?
I'm not here to argue.
Why is it written?
I'm responding to you directly. I'm telling you right now, they're under review, and it will be under review, and it will continue to be under review. Okay?
Then
We
what
are
is
not
the point
going to
of
allow
having
anyone.
this specific section written into the policy.
Okay.
What is the point of it then?
Maybe
If you're not even gonna
it's
follow it.
something we have to step back and review. But I'm telling you, I'm giving you an answer to your question, and it may not be what you want to hear. But I'm telling you fact right now. We're not going to stand back and allow any law enforcement officer to misuse anyone.
I hope
Okay.
not. And I also hope that somehow disappears from the policy.
Hold you to that. That's who you can hold you to that.
The Capitol Police have done an excellent job. You've been courteous and, respectful to all protesters. And I, for one, greatly appreciate that. It's not just an issue of the police. Somebody comes into the building because they have a permit and they slip because there's a big spill that nobody bothered to clean up. Clear negligence. Again, it's not even anything to do with the police department. It's a suppression of our rights, just like the tort reform was the suppression of the rights of families of people who are in nursing cares. Wisconsin is open for business at the expense of the public. This is a situation the public is not open to the Capitol unless we are willing to accept it's at our own risk.
Chris, it's
There's
even
no,
worse than overbroad.
there's no liability, there's no negligence clauses. We take our chances when we step inside the Capitol.
May I just clarify part of Jenna's question? Or the response to Jenna's question? There are two separate issues there. The one is you're reviewing an incident and maybe disciplinary procedures or whatever with the officer. The other is the liability, the medical expenses, whatever repercussions there may be on that side. And so you're saying we'd review the incident. That's to deal with the officer directly, I assume, or whoever is involved. This document is saying that regardless of that, that's not the relevant part. What's relevant is that somebody now has hospital bills caused by one of your officers, and this is saying it doesn't matter. There's no way for her to be compensated.
Maybe a
for that.
funeral.
I don't know that you can necessarily interpret it exactly that way.
I can't. It's not even about the police only or actions of people. It's about, I'm an architect, you understand this. I'm an architect, and their building owner has a legal responsibility for proper maintenance and is responsible. If this ceiling falls on all of us, you're responsible. The DOA is responsible. Your statement in here is a claim that you can advocate and remove yourself from responsibility just by saying so. None of us signed you off on that, but that's what you're claiming. And it's that overbroad. It's a complete abdication of any responsibility for anything that happens in this building. That is so completely wrong and such a completely incompetently drafted statement. And it's representative of how bad this document is. Do over from the beginning, please.
A lot of us have a lot of questions that you are unwilling or unable to answer because they do have to do with the legal interpretation or legal basis of this. Who may I go to without paying an attorney? Who may I talk with to find out the answers to these questions? Would you give me the name of a person I can talk with to get the answers to these questions?
I'll tell you, if you have specific questions that you want to write up and send to me.
No, you can't.
I can answer that question, my pitch.
Feeling or whatever, and that would possibly attract the attention of people. That's not permitted. I mean, this is ridiculous. And to attract the attention of people.
You're looking for, just again, stated in the policy what constitutes an event. And if you have a question, you would take, file the format of the form, and you can certainly
So
respond
anytime
to it.
I come in here with 3 or more people, if we do anything that might get the attention of the public, I need to have a permit 72 hours in advance for that?
Again, I've got what the definition is. The definition is in the policy.
And then I need to meet with Chief Tufts to find out what resources there will be, because I want to know ahead of time what this might cost for me to do this.
If that's what, part of the permit process, it is, to determine.
I-
Again,
I
an event
think-
is any performance, ceremony, presentation, meeting, or rally held in public areas of the state facility or building. A rally is defined as the gathering of 4 or more people for the purpose of actively promoting a cause.
Well, I think we have a lot of questions still, and I would like to request that we extend this educational period. Okay? I would like to request that we extend the educational period and have more discussions.
I'm gonna go both ways.
There's too much going on.
There's
It's too
education
hot.
going on.
I don't understand what's going on. I see this document conflicting with the Constitution, quite frankly. I'd like lawyers talking. And so could you extend this period for us, please?
Again, we've set this as 2 weeks to
No,
reach out to
please.
folks.
But you're not
Please,
teaching
If
us.
I say please, will you please extend the period?
There are no
This
answers.
is not education, why should not answer the questions?
I don't understand. I come here sometimes and I protest, often as myself. And I don't really understand where the lines are. And I feel like I'm in jeopardy. I'm a reasonably intelligent person, okay, and I don't get it. This is confusing. This hasn't worked for me. Could you please extend the period?
I'm not going to commit to do that.
Can you take it to your superior and ask them to?
We have a discussion.
If I'm taking it to the court, well,
Don't anticipate us extending the
Chris, I have an easy
educational
question. I have an easy question. Please. Chief Tubbs,
Public doesn't understand, then why can't
you're,
we accept it?
Chief Tubbs, you estimate crowd size frequently, correct?
We try, yes.
What is the crowd size of the room currently?
Currently, right here, I'd say there's roughly 65 people.
What is the capacity of this room?
I don't have the capacity in mind.
Could 200 people fit in this room?
Well, we'd have to take a look at it.
Could 500 people fit in this room?
We'd have to take a look at it.
Have you taken me down here when I've been arrested for quietly holding a sign, and have I been processed in this room?
I don't think I've ever taken you down anywhere.
Has other people taken me down here and have I been processed
I
down
would
here?
have to have them explain.
Did I yell at you and have a conflict with you while I was being processed down here, and I had my chair turned and told that I was to be in kindergarten by the DNR person who was under my
Again,
supervision?
I could have happened.
So let me ask you a question. Where are you going to take the 500 people on December 16th who will not be getting a permit? Where are you taking them?
We're talking about hypothetical there.
Where are you going to take them? Will it be the Kohl Center? Will it be the Frontiers? Do you have a plan for that? This is what I did. I held this in the state Senate, okay? I held this as the U.S. Constitution. Your officer came out and intimidated me. He told me I had mental health problems. He got within an inch of my face. I didn't have any interaction with him that day. I filed a complaint, and your response to that was that he was justified because he was concerned for my mental health, and that was how he's supposed to treat me. This is the kind of conduct. I have 8 tickets. I don't care if you give me 800. Maybe there's a maximum. Maybe I run out at 100. Maybe you can't give me any more tickets, but you should expect to be handing out 500 of these on the 16th. Now, I don't know where you're going to take them, but you sure as hell can't fit 500 people in this room.